mighty, who accompany the bear to the house of rest, who pilot the ship of Ra, ever advancing onwards the heights of heaven, Lord of the shrine, which standeth in the center of the earth. Behold, he is me, and I am him. Mine is the radiance, wherein Ta floateth over the firmament. I travel upon high, I tread upon the firmament of Nu. I raise a flashing flame with the lightning of mine eye, ever rushing on the...
My third eye's open, I can see past the commotion. I can get lost in the moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. High dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My third eye open, I can see past the commotion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. High dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm guaranteed to check like TSA. 1 in a million like a...
Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us live or in the replay. As we are here for another fresh new episode of Ascend. Oh my gosh, I almost said the wrong name. It's the other podcast from yesterday, Ascending Beyond Limitations. That's a good one in itself, where we study the raw material law of one, myself, and also our good sister, Sandy Marshall, out of California. So last week on the SaCrEd LiGhT Community Nightcap, we took a break from the Emerald Tablets study as we had been exploring the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean. And last week we decided to step into a new realm and journey into the empowerment, the enlightenment upon the holistic quantum healing practice of quantum hypnosis, QHHT. And we were joined by a SaCrEd guest, Derrick Ivey, who's also part of the Sacred Kingdom community that I'm a part of as well. And Derrick was a really great guest, gave us a lot of good insight, a lot of good knowledge and information about what QHHT is and how it could be beneficial to our well-being. So with that being said, before we continue into our Emerald Tablet study, I'm going to go ahead and bring us back to last week as we travel in time to explore a little bit of QHHT and how our last session went in this nightcap lounge.
The SaCrEd LiGhT Community Nightcap. Special QHHT Quantum Hypnosis Therapy Session. We are going to explore this wonderful multidimensional practice with our sacred guests, Sacred Kingdom community member, multifaceted,
certified hypnotherapist Derrick Ivey. Tap in and tune in to the Nightcap Lounge.
There's a lot of profound messages that come through these sessions, and you can communicate. There's so many different beings in there. Like, you can, like, just on Tuesday, I communicated with this really tall, luminous light being that didn't have a physical body, but was always trying to figure things out, is like trying to figure out what's right or what's wrong or what's good or what's bad. That's out of the way, and you have access to the deepest, purest parts of you. And so then I'll bring in, like, okay, what energy are we looking at? So yeah, the most important thing about doing this kind of work is that you feel comfortable and safe.
So that was last week. I love Derrick. Derrick is a very, very kind and loving brother of ours, and lives in Colorado. Multifaceted hypnotherapist, as well as Reiki practitioner. And he does teach different programs, courses, and certifications. And he does attunements as well. So you guys can become quantum hypnosis certified through him. And he does bring it down through the lineage of Dolores Cannon as well. This very good brother. If you haven't watched the episode, feel free to watch it on the replay on YouTube, SaCrEd Light Healing and Wellness. And thank you to all of you that subscribe, support, and continue to show love. So now bringing us to the current, as we pick up on our Emerald Tablet study with tablet number 2, The Halls of Amenti. And this is part 3 of tablet 2. We are going to be joined by a wonderful sister of the SaCrEd community out there in this wonderful world. And she will be joining us to be a wonderful SaCrEd guest. And she'll just kind of be flowing with us, maybe even sharing a little bit of her signature light language as well throughout the time. And we're also just going to explore and share the downloads and reflections that we get as we travel through the rest of this tablet study. So without further ado, we'll welcome into the SaCrEd Light Community Nightcap Lounge our divine sister, Leah, who also goes by Lulabella on Instagram. Welcome in, sister. It is really good to see you.
Hello, hello. So excited.
How are you tonight?
I'm very excited. Very excited because the last one, it was a goodie. Oh, yes. With all the rays and stuff that you...
Oh, yeah. I believe we left off last time with talking about, I think it was the Council of 7, the Council of 9, and the Council of 12. And that was very intriguing. Totally
sure
unexpected.
I was seeing rainbows, yes.
Wow. Now, when you say that, are you very clairvoyant?
I don't know what the clairs mean, but like I see, like what I would say, like energetic things, like out of my mind's eye, kind of. Is that, I don't know what that clair is.
Yeah, that would be clairvoyance.
Okay.
Yep.
It's not constant, but it does occur when I'm activated, especially like I was that night listening, and I was very interactive, and I was like, oh,
Beautiful. Yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at as well. I don't see it like all the time thoroughly, but
like glimpses.
Yeah, I'll get like glimpses, or if I look at something really quickly, all of a sudden I might see the energy field around it or the color streaks. It's pretty cool. And lately I've also been seeing like very large energy bodies just like walk through my door, just like walk in my room, and I'm just like, oh, hey guys.
Yeah. I feel them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a lot of feeling for me. Like I feel the energy around me. Like, yeah. And I get touched and
we're pretty similar in that way because for me, feeling and hearing has been my main senses basically my whole life. And then the clairvoyance, that kind of started coming on more recently. It's like before, I just always saw just dark, you know, but I would feel everything. And like when I say feel, it would be such a deep feeling that I'd basically be seeing it because I'd be feeling it.
Right?
But not seeing
Yes. It's a good way to explain that.
Yeah. So it's been really intriguing. And a fun fact about myself is back in 2015, and again, this was way before I became very clairvoyant with my senses. I was receiving a Reiki session, and just unintentionally, unexpected, I had my higher lion humanoid self literally like full blown visibly show itself in my mind's eye while I was receiving Reiki. And
Okay,
I was just
Go ahead.
what?
Okay, so that's what Reiki, what having it done to me was what really got me like visual. So the very first time I had it done, I had a whole like crew with me. It was crazy. I even like have like drawings of it. Like I had light beams all the way around me. It was crazy.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when I get Reiki done, or when I go into my like meditation or like what I do, there's lots of stuff that comes through. Like, wow. But just like in the day to day, in my, you know, around me, like yeah, it's more glimpses and stuff. And I have had like where it like visions almost where I'm transported into like another place, but yet I can still see them around me. I've had that occur a few times too. Yeah.
Yup. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Where you literally feel yourself in a different energy field, but
Yeah.
you still physically be in the same environment.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting. I
Definitely.
It is. It's very exciting. So tonight's the Emerald Tablets. Okay.
That's right.
I got my emerald.
Oh, Emerald Sapphire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gorgeous. It's intense. I've been holding on to it for quite a while.
Oh, wow.
It's too bad you can't see the green.
I love emeralds. That's one of my birthstones, Gemini sun sign, the emerald. And of course, it carries that emerald order energy. Good old green ray. Unconditional love.
So much heart.
Feel the green ray every time we dive into these tablets, like that unconditional bound of love, of wanting to just deliver the truth. Like that is such a beautiful thing. I feel like wanting to be so devoted to holding and keeping alive the codes of truth so that we can obtain and maintain our balance of self as we go through these journeys. It's so intriguing and just expansive and just an awesome universal game of life that we're in, where, you know, we get to fluctuate through these octaves and go through experiences, but also remember that we're more than the experiences, and that, you know, we go through experiences a million times from body to body and from ascension to ascension, as Thoth always says. throughout the tablet. It's I don't have the word for it.
I think we're glitching.
All right. So I'll go pull up. All right. The glitching.
Yeah, it's glitching a bit.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, it might do that every here and there. For some reason, all right, let's see here. We're on tablet number 2. For everybody out there, tablet number 2 is the Halls of Amenti. So this is talking about basically the different planes of existence and what's inside of these different planes, and kind of like how the beings interact, as well as how they are able to navigate through these different planes. So if you guys kind of go back into this series where we left off with the Emerald Tablets, we were talking about different councils, the Council of 7, the Council of 9, the Council of 12, and before that, we were actually doing a side-by-side comparison of a multidimensional Vedic Hinduism cosmology map with the tablets, and we were comparing that with the Halls of the Dead and the Halls of the Life, and it was a really, really cool experience. So I suggest for you guys to go back into the history and check out the other episodes if you haven't. So let's see here. Where did we leave off? Okay, yeah. So this is where we left off when we were talking about the different councils. And this is where we'll pick up. So we have 3, 4, 5, and 6. 7, 8, each with his mission, each with his powers, guiding, directing the destiny of man. They sit there they sit, mighty and potent, free of all time and space. So I'll read that again. That was a little choppy of myself. 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, each with his mission, each with his powers, guiding, directing the destiny of man. There sit they, mighty and potent, free of all time and space. Interesting. So as we continue, excuse me, took a nap earlier. So as we continue here, not of this world they, yet akin to it. Elder brothers they, of the children of men, judging and weighing, they with their wisdom, watching the progress of light among men. Ooh, interesting. So I'm not going to draw to any conclusions yet. I'll wait until we kind of go back and take our time breaking it down. But what I'm starting to gather is potentially that this may be talking about what you may want to call like dimensional gatekeepers potentially, or law of one holders. And it also could potentially be talking about the weighing of the heart, the hall where we go through that weighing of the heart process.
Mm-hmm.
It says, judging and weighing, they with their wisdom, watching the progress of light among men. So before we really get into that, that's just a little bit of what I'm kind of drawing to, is maybe Thoth is explaining to us maybe that there's 8 beings that stand at the halls of the weighing when it comes to the in-between of our soul journey. And when I say that the in-between,
Mm-hmm.
I mean between, you know, one incarnation and another. So the afterlife, if you want to call it the afterlife, that scene where you see the weighing at the heart. So continuing, there before them was I, led by the dweller, watched him blend with one from above. Oh, interesting. Then from he came forth a voice saying, Great art thou, Thoth, among children of men, free henceforth of the halls of Amenti. Master of life among children of men, taste not of death, except as thou will it. Drink thou of life to eternity's end. Henceforth forever is life. Thine for the taking, henceforth is death at the call of thy hand. Ooh. I'll go ahead and read one more, and then we can go ahead and begin our breakdown and see what kind of processes through us.
Okay.
And this last one, for this part that we're going to cover, is dwell here or leave here when thou desireth. Free is a mentee to the Son of Man. Take thou up life in what form thou desireth. Children of the light that has grown among men, choose thou thy work, for all must labor. Never be free from the pathway of light. Okay. Wow. All right. So going back to the first part that we started breaking down, we have 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, each with his mission, each with his powers, guiding, directing the destiny of man. There sit they, mighty and potent, free of all time and space. Interesting. So, as we dive into this part, sister, do you feel like there's anything that you would like to share first about this part?
Well, for me, the numbers are sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
So I just looked up 3, 4, 5 because it was the first numbers that showed up, and 3, 4, 5 is a spark of belief. There's just something about that. Yeah. And then you switch up the numbers 5, 4, 3, or 3, 5, 4, and it equals the Archangel Michael, which is interesting. Unite and the spark.
Oh, okay. So unite and spark. Then 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for the 6, 7, 8. I don't have that in my.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, I also looked up the numbers for Emerald Tablets, and that was interesting too.
Ooh.
So I use something called gematria. It's how sometimes spirit speaks through me. Oh, this is interesting. 6, 7, 8, establishing contact. That's interesting because of what that was just saying there about.
Wow.
like watching over things, and wow.
That's intriguing.
Um,
So basically, like the
soul,
unified spark.
soul
Oh,
mission.
soul mission.
Mission. Ooh.
Yeah, makes sense. Because you have the unified spark, and then what was 6, 7, 8?
What did I say here? Establishing contact
Oh man, yeah. So 3, 4, 5.
and soul
know,
mission.
The unity, the unified spark,
Mhm.
and then the 6, 7, 8 is the spreading of that unified spark, basically. The like the maintaining and continuous bringing of life to it, to spread it to other life, so to say.
Right?
And then the soul mission part, I mean, literally the next line says, each with his mission.
Right?
Each with his
Oh my
powers.
goodness. See, this is what happens.
Yep. This is
They're
what
like,
happens.
okay, Leah, look at the number. There's going to be something there.
Mm.
And I could even go further and put those numbers in the words format and then see what that number comes out to. And I guarantee that there'll be something else that'll be shown. But that's a
Hey.
long. It's
I was gonna
taking
say,
it up a notch.
I was saying, I'm up for it. I'm here for it.
All right, let's do the 3,
Wow.
4, 5.
And while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and read the next line.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
And next line after that was each with his mission, each with his powers. And then it says, guiding, directing the destiny of man. There sit they, mighty and potent, free of all time and space. Yeah, so I feel like that just kind of just...
Okay. It says jumping timelines. It's 12:54.
Oh my. Wow.
Yeah. Well, time, space, that's
Yeah, it's getting my heart pumping.
right. Light switch. We're switching it on, baby.
Yeah. Wow. So I want also to share a little something with the collective as well regarding that last part where it says, there sit they, mighty and potent, free of all time and space. So sometimes we may often think in this human life that time and space is actually everything. But time and space isn't everything. Now, when it comes to, existence and certain dimensions, time space is relevant.
Right.
But as you continue to ascend in dimensions, you no longer become bound to time space, because everything is literally just quantum moments that are not even like, it's so hard to put to words what I'm trying to describe, because it's like literally unfathomable to this third dimension basically. But you don't have any of the bounds, the characteristics, the traits, the polarity densities that you have here in this third dimension when you make your way up to like a 10th dimensional embodiment or something of that type of nature of frequency. And yeah, it's really intriguing stuff. It's a little bit difficult to explain without like having a full space to go in depth about it when it comes to different dimensions. But yeah, there is time, space, and existence. But then there's also basically like being in what you can say is like the heavenly like states, where you're just serving a specific purpose for the universe, and you just stay doing that. And that's the role that you stay at, without having to be bound to a physical body, or without having to be bound to the time space of what we go through when we incarnate. When we're in a place of a ascended master or an archangel, up in those higher councils, that's just their role. That's what they do. That's what they hold the law of one of, is exactly what they were designed to be. And then they just carry out that role and help humanity through their evolution process. Pretty fascinating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you connect with that?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you begin to kind of decipher for yourself, like, oh, okay, maybe existence actually isn't everything. We may think it could be every single thing, but there's also source, like pure source. And then it's intriguing because you hear about the Maya. The Maya is the illusion. Existence is the illusion as well. And that's the thing, is sometimes we forget that existence is the dream itself. It's a temporary illusionary experience of continuous moments reflecting the pure light through different degrees, different spectrums, and different polarities. But ultimately, those polarities go away at some point because they're temporary. And then you end up coming back to your balance. And then you go through another polarity, then come back around, and then so on and so forth. So you can be free from that, constantly going back to different polarities, feeling like you're bound to karmic energies. You can definitely transcend and ascend those type of things. And that's a reminder that Thoth likes to give us through these teachings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Casey, welcome in on Instagram. She said, the existence is the dream itself. That's right. I think there was a quote by, I think it might have been Ram Dass. And I think he said, gosh, what is that quote? It's something about only a certain individual or only a certain somebody believes that life is real and is not the dream, or something of that nature. I can't remember, but just a really deep quote that will really make you think about, like, how serious you're taking things, how attached you may be taking things, or how much we may be allowing the world to consume the way that we believe we are in relation to source and creator. Very great teachings out there when it comes to that type of stuff. Did you end up finding those numbers?
Oh, yes. Okay,
Awesome.
So we were doing the 6, 7, 8. So we are taking the not the number, but we're taking the words. So you spell out SIX, blah blah blah. 6, 7, 8 is 1368. Pulled out to me. Oh, Divine Flyers. I quite like that because we were just talking about like the with that one. Yes. And also my guardian angel protects me. I do like that.
Yes.
So we're talking about the angelic realm and stuff and how that always comes in.
Wow.
Okay. I don't know why I want to say this is here. It's pointing out at me. It says the white horse. I don't know what that symbolizes or what that means.
Oh,
it's
the
telling
white
me
horse?
It's telling me to pull that out, like to pull it, to say it. So I don't know if there's a symbolism behind it or if there's like some connection? I don't know. Like, is it from the Bible? I don't know.
The white horse. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Typically, the white horse is correlated to, being the horse that carries the.
I see it as light too. Like I see it light. Like it's emanating. The way that I'm visualizing it when I'm seeing it, it's like light.
Yeah. So the white horse is the only horse that is known to carry the. What's the word I would like to use? It's the only horse to be able to carry, I guess, like the king, or to be able to carry like a master into battle or into a certain place. There's like a symbolism of that white horse being like a guiding white light, or, the purest white light energy that is carrying you forward, while also like protecting and bringing strength to your being.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the color navy blue.
Navy blue. That's interesting because Archangel Michael is mentioned.
And he's blue. Yep. And the blue light protection and the blue ray, and yep.
Wow. Welcome in, Sarah or Kaya Mac.
Oh.
Good to see you. Very intriguing. All right. Shall we continue?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is, oh, look at that. We got 3 views and 3 loves at the top right now on the YouTube, Facebook side. That was really cool. 33. So we have, not of this world they, yet akin to it. Elder brothers they, of the children of men. Judging and weighing. I'm going to go ahead and put brothers and sisters in there for everybody. Of the children of men. Judging and weighing, they with their wisdom, watching the progress of light among men. Not of this world they, yet akin to it. Elder brothers they. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. So I guess I'll start on this one.
Okay.
Not of this world they, yet akin to it. Elder brothers they, of the children of men. So for me, what I pick up from this is that, again, Thoth is depicting for us a little bit more multidimensional talk of different kind of being forms or different dimensional beings. And what I mean by this is when he says, not of this world they, he's continuing from where he left off, talking about basically the gatekeepers or these different guardians that we were speaking on with the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, they are not in this center earth realm, this third dimensional earth realm with humanity, which is why he says, not of this world they, they dwell in a different world, but it's a parallel world that is also connected to our earth and to our human life.
Because we're multidimensional.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So then he says, yet akin to it. So yeah, they're not of this world, but they're akin to it, which means, they relate to it. They know what it is. They know how to navigate it because they have had a sense of being through it before. So then it says, elder brothers they, they're basically our future selves. They're our elders of our current versions of humanity. And that's because they're at a higher frequency than we are. So that then makes them an elder, technically, in spiritual type of lingo, because their frequency is higher, which means they have a bigger capacity of wisdom within them to be able to pass down to the humans that are in a lower dimension than them, to help them climb that ladder, basically. So then he says, elder brothers they of the children of men. And that's basically what I just explained, is that due to their frequency and their embodiment, that makes them basically like brothers or sisters in an elderly type of fashion to us here in this third dimension, which is why we kind of look up to our angels. We look up to our
Yes.
guides with a high reverence, because they have had the walk and the experience of what it's like to be human in this journey, and then it turned them into an ascended elder of humanity, basically. And then it says judging and weighing. So again, I'm really feeling like, that's talking about being gatekeepers of the dimensions. And also you can think of, potentially, I'll go ahead and pull up an image just to see with you guys. I'm kind of curious how many beings they depict at the weighing of the scale, or the weighing of the heart, I should say, which is like one of the most common depictions in ancient Egypt. So let's see here. Okay. So this is one image. So the beings that are standing at the scale, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 in this one, which makes me wonder, because you'll see different amounts in different images, depending upon which one it is. But I definitely feel like it is definitely in relation to the weighing of the heart. It just wouldn't make sense to me. So I'm going to see here. Yeah, that's really the sense that I'm getting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so this one has 8 in it. When you look at the main beings at the bottom, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So yeah, it's very intriguing. I just felt called to bring that up. And for anybody that likes to study, hieroglyphics, ancient Kemetic knowledge, maybe tap in and tune in and see what that image of the weighing of the scale means to you intuitively. And maybe if there's a connection for you with those guides and that energy in that field. All right. So yeah, is there anything that you would like to add about that segment?
No, I think we covered it.
Awesome. 44 minutes. All right, so continuing on from there, we have bear before them. Or actually, let me finish that part. Judging and weighing, they with their wisdom, watching the progress of light among men. So actually, I kind of actually said that right before reading that.
Yeah.
Judging and weighing with their wisdom. So basically, like what I was just saying is, they've gone through the descension and ascension process in order to be able to get to a place where the Creator allows them to be able to hold a position of an ascended space. And in order for you to hold a ascended position within this existence creation, you have to obtain enough wisdom through your experiences of dissension and ascension in order to be at the vibratory rate of that role. So it's not like it's like a it's not like there's a no order fashion to it, to where it's just like you're carrying all this karmic energy and you're still carrying it after you incarnate and then you transition out of this life. That karmic energy, due to the laws of nature, of existence, it's not going to resonate vibrationally for you to be able to obtain a position in a higher frequency parallel plane, because your vibratory field literally wouldn't be able to exist in that field. So there's a certain amount of, initiation, or so to say, or karmic clearing and dharma that we obtain through our soul journey in order to get to an ascended space within existence. Because if we don't have the wisdom, then what is wisdom? Wisdom comes from experience. Knowledge is one thing, wisdom is another. As I kind of like to say is, knowledge is kind of dead to us as human beings until we actually apply the knowledge into our existence. And then once we apply that knowledge, we experience the knowledge through our embodiment. And then we embody it and we become wise, and it turns into wisdom.
It's kind of like they about being aware. Like, it's one thing to be aware, but then what are you going to do with that awareness? It's that next step, right? It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Love it.
Like, you'll find many cases of this, and it's even with our own selves, because we're all subject to it, where we may study, we may read, we may listen, watch, all these different things, but we don't take time to integrate. We don't take time to experience. We don't take time to imply the teachings or the practices into our daily life. And what you'll notice is typically you kind of white knuckle, your spirituality, as in like half in and half out. Like, about it, but you're not embodying it.
Right.
We're aware that we have to do shadow work. We know what it is, but when it comes up, we're not addressing it. It's one thing to walk it, it's one thing to talk it. And we just gotta be honest with ourselves sometimes. Honest with grace and love. So yeah, if you think about this too, like, this is where you see the law of correspondence, the connection and correlation between creation and the different levels. And when you think about this human life, in order for us to be able to, become a great healer in this world, or in order for us to become a really good space holder for others, typically, of course, it's not black and white, but typically we go through darkness. We go through dark nights. And through that darkness and through those dark nights, we then obtain wisdom in order to get back to other human beings on our path, such as addiction. Addiction could be a great example of this, especially for my own self. We could be going through a period of addiction with something, and that would be our dissension process, going through the darkness. But then we go through it and we end up transcending that addiction state. And after we transcend that addiction state, we then may find ourselves holding addiction support spaces. But in order for us to become very aware, very connected, and in touch with what it's like to be in addiction and what it's like to overcome addiction, we had to take our human vessels and vehicles and go through the holographic experience of it in order to obtain the wisdom in this earth life of what it's like to be an addicted human on earth. Because kind of like going back into the teachings of Thoth, if you're aware of thyself and you're aware of who you are beyond the human, you acknowledge that you're a star child, or that you are a being of light that is beyond the physical vehicle. So then when we come here to the earth, we gotta go through earth experiences with this earth body to obtain that wisdom of what it's like to go through a certain thing as a physical earth human. And that's how we become wise. And then we pass that on, hold space, lead, pave way for others, so on and so forth. So, it says here, judging and weighing they with their wisdom. So these guardians or gatekeepers of the dimensions, so to say, they went through their own walks, transcended them, became wise about what it's like to be a human on earth. And now they're able to help other humans in the cycles of earth be able to transcend as well, watching the progress of light among men. Then before them was I, led by the dweller, watch him blend with one from above. Wow. That's a short one, but I felt the potency of that in my third eye.
Can you repeat those last couple of lines there?
Yeah. That's powerful for being two lines by itself. I see why it's by itself. So he said, there before them was I, led by the dweller, watched him blend with one from above.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay. So I pulled up the numbers earlier, like I said, from the Emerald Tablets. So Emerald Tablets equals 463. And it says angel station. And then it says garment of light. And as soon as you said that,
Wow. Oof.
It's also double dragon. Like you're talking about bringing things together, right? That's what it says there.
Oh yeah.
They're like separate, but yet they're it's one, right?
Yep.
Woo.
Ooh. I love this, man. I'm just so grateful. Just a few hours ago, I was literally going through like a major purge, psychic attack, energy. Felt like I was just gonna have to sleep off the night. And I just rested myself and used my tools. And I'm so grateful that I'm here. Like, wow. It's just phenomenal. Let me make sure real quick. Because something weird's happening, it looks like. For some reason, it looked like on Instagram and Facebook, it wasn't showing the screen share. It was like it was showing us over there, and then it was just like a blank space. Let me see real quick if I can bring it back up.
I know.
Definitely want to make sure everybody can
watching it.
see it.
Is it okay if I speak? It's also equals the I don't know why I wrote this down, but it's the goddess Hestia. I don't know what that goddess is or who she belongs to, if that's like a Roman god or a goddess or what she's about. Maybe it's a Greek goddess. Thought that was interesting.
Hestia. Let me look. Sounds... Oh. That was quick. Oh. Okay. Here you go. This is why I love AI. How can we not love AI? We get to just look up stuff like this. So Hestia, as you thought, Greek goddess. She is the virgin goddess of the hearth, home, and hospitality. She is the firstborn child of the Titans Kronos and Rhea, and is one of the 12 Olympians. Hestia is known for her gentle and mild nature, and she vowed to remain a maiden forever, which earned her the honor of presiding over all sacrifices. In Greek culture, she was revered as a protector of the family and community, with offerings made to her at the hearth in every home. In Roman mythology, she is known as Vesta. Ooh. Okay.
Interesting.
Thank you for that. If you guys are open to it, we can take a moment and maybe just go into stillness and allow the wonderful archetypal energy of Hestia to bestow upon us if we would like. Sure. And maybe, if called, I can channel a little bit of light language for us. And sister, if you feel called as well, you're more than welcome to after I share it as well. At your own free will. So if you guys would like to receive these energies and frequencies, feel free to get cozy. Get yourself in a nice open position for your being. And just kind of, if you are sitting, maybe just try to have your back straight and just relax your shoulders a little bit. And relax your feet, your fingers, and make sure you're not clenching those teeth. Just letting go of the tension in the body. Maybe even wiggling a little bit to loosen up. Take some deep sighs or some breaths if necessary. And then I'm also going to put some wonderful frequencies on for us as well to make this a real experience. A little bit of goddess energy. Okay. So yes, if you wish, close your eyes if you may, at your own will. Begin to focus on the breath, relaxing the body. Deeply breathing through the nose and through the body. And breathing out of the mouth, circulating this breath through the chakras. And as we breathe, breathing out any expectations, any attachments, any lingering thoughts, emotions. Breathe with it. Allow it to flow. No resistance, no attaching. Just focus on breathing through the thoughts, through the feelings. Now as we breathe, begin to open and invite the energies of the Greek goddess Hestia, Goddess Hestia, may you bestow your divine wisdom, your motherly love, your soft and gentle nature to flow through our being on our multidimensional levels, astrally, purify, cleanse, and protect our astral planes from any attachments, entities, devices, or other energies that may be causing resistance. Staying with the breath as we travel through these layers, feeling the divine love and service of Hestia, clearing our astral plane, continuing into our layers. Hestia now brings focus to our mental body, to our mental layer, beginning to clear any mental clutter, any mental fractures, hemisphere imbalances, mind control, distorted perspectives, all being cleared for restoring balance to the mind's eye and the mind. Continuing with the breath, Hestia, your divine energy, begins to travel through our emotional body, beginning to raise and surface and shed any stagnant and stored emotions within our being. Staying with the breath as these emotions arise, knowing that you're safe and okay to release and express, whether it's vocal, tears, moving of the body, whatever it may be, you're safe to do so in your own space with guidance and love. This is the time to let go. No better time than now in this space. Beginning to sew and repair any leaks, tears, and wounds within our energy field and emotions. And lastly, cutting and clearing any toxic cords that we have energetically attached to other energy fields. And as we continue to breathe, Goddess Hestia travels to the final layer of this space in our physical body. She now begins to bestow her magical love and healing through the pores and through the cells and through the DNA of our human being as it begins to seep to our bloodstream, our skin, our tissue, muscles, ligaments, and bones. Feeling this goddess energy softening, soothing, and replenishing our physical body with every breath, feeling this energy and letting go of any tension in our physicality. Mena suta emean shute na emeana shine wabayana se emeana ya shu emena te emeana se emeana shu kana emeana sote emeata ya sote unishiana ka nuatia sinemeatu ineasha nukuta Diana Kuneatu, Diana Dasha Nikuniata, Miana Gai no Shunata. Continuing to breathe, staying with the breath.
Ein chotoi tekena. Just kuneti kesu shtaka. Ashkos. Hey, shkanya site tako. Ati asianate.
When you guys are ready, gather with the breath and consciously journey your way to your physical vehicle of the earth and descend your consciousness into your body to be present in your physical being and physical environment. You may open your eyes when you are ready. Carry forward this goddess love of Hestia. You may see it as a pure white light flowing through your being and around you. Take a big deep breath. Hold it and draw it all the way down to the earth like an anchor. And ground yourself to the earth. Hmm. Tones of the colors around me are different. Ooh. Shoo-wee.
I find every
Thank
time I
that.
do it, it like comes out differently. And that was, wow. Just let it flow.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, it's an honor to be able to hold space for spirit.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Take a drink
How's
of water.
everybody in the chat feeling? Wow. Yeah, hydration check for everybody out there. Make sure you guys are staying hydrating, giving yourself fuel, especially as you mentally take in these codes and release as well. All right. What a good little intervention that was by Hestia. Wow. Thank you for allowing yourself to draw that in for us. Okay. So back to our tablet. Yes. So there before them. There before them. Let me change the music for us.
There's music playing? I haven't heard music.
Oh, you didn't hear the singing?
Nope.
Interesting. I don't question the Matrix anymore. I really just like stop trying to make sense of those things.
Right? If I was meant to hear it, I would hear it.
Like what? It's like, what is there to make sense of at this point?
Right.
Ah, man. Ooh, that was a good flow. Now I got the beat picking up.
Yep.
That's how you ride the octaves right there.
Yep.
So, where we left off. There before them was I led by the dweller, watched him blend with one from above. That's pretty interesting. There before them was I led by the dweller, watched him blend with one from above. That's very interesting. I wonder who he's speaking on when he says the dweller. So, like, something about this is intriguing me. Because he says, there... Oh, wait. Okay. So he says, there before them was I. So he's basically speaking from his perspective when he was incarnated as a human being.
Okay.
Of basically being in contact with these higher dimensional beings. So it's like, and this is just, of course, like what's coming through me, and for everybody else it may be different for you. If it resonates, it resonates. But what I'm sensing, and I also like to give the reminder too of the way I perceive these readings and the way that, you know, it's taught to alchemists and self-masters, is you want to try to view this from your own perspective as well, as in you want to be literally in the lens of these words when you're trying to kind of uncover them.
Right, you're a part of it.
Separate. Yeah, instead of seeing it separate.
Right.
And that Thoth is just like some magical being that isn't connected to us, but seeing it as he's just another reflection of us, giving his earth journey and his wisdom so that we can come to a remembrance and connection of our relationship with Source as someone that walks a similar but different path. That makes sense.
Mhm.
So he says, there before them was I, led by the dweller, watched him blend with one from above. See, now that's the part I'm really intrigued about, is led by the dweller, watched him blend with one from above. It makes me wonder if we read a little bit more, he may talk about what this dweller thing is.
I wonder if the dweller is like self. The word that's coming to my brain is the light body.
The ego?
Maybe the ego. But the dweller is the one in the lead. From what I'm interpreting that. That's interesting. But the word light body is coming into my brain. When it's blending, like the...
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it feels like what...
Is that part of like the ascension?
Yeah, it feels like what I'm gathering is he says, the dweller, and then watching him blend with one from above. I feel like the dweller could be, the lower nature, the ego.
Okay.
That dwells upon life. And then you watch your ego, or you watch that dweller version of you blend into the soul or the higher self. And
okay.
The light body,
Yeah.
the light body is the bridge to that.
Right? Mm-hmm.
That's our connection to our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a connection and bridge from the lower self to the higher self.
I love it. There we go.
Yeah, because when you view things from the self perspective and breaking down different components of your own self, it's kind of like he's breaking down different multidimensional aspects of an own self. Mm-hmm. Saying like, I was in front of the councils and the guides as a incarnated being that was, journeying with the ego through this earth world. And then I watched my ego blend into my soul, or to my higher self. And yeah, that light body, the DNA, is the bridge to that. So that's a conversation in itself.
Right.
Activating your DNA, cleansing your DNA, purifying your aura. Those are all things that help you be able to, quote unquote, blend your human self into your higher self. Because, everything is connected frequency wise. So the more that our vessel is clear and open, as in our chakras and our aura, and the more our channels are flowing with divine conscious energy. So that's the blending right there, I feel like, is the more he continued to transcend himself, the more he continued to basically activate and clear. He was seeing his ego basically become no ego and became just divine purpose. That's what I kind of gathered from it, from my own experiences.
That garment of light. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Got the 33s up there again.
Oh, yes.
So let's continue.
Okay.
Now we're at a new set that we haven't covered yet. All right, so we have, then from he came forth a voice saying, great art thou, Thoth, among children of men, free henceforth of the halls of Amenti, master of life among children of men, taste not of death, except as thou wilt. Drink thou of life, to eternity's end. Henceforth, forever is life, thine for the taking. Henceforth is death at the call of thy hand. Ooh. Oh, God. Oof. I'll let you go first on this one if you'd like. What you snacking on over there?
Sorry. I'm hungry. I've got some mini eggs. This is my nightcap, chocolate.
Be cozy. I'm all about the snacks and teas and the nightcap.
Next time we do this, I got to figure out a way that I can see what's happening on the screen bigger. Because I want to be able to read with you, and I can't read.
Do you have a laptop?
No.
Oh, okay. We'll figure out something. Maybe there could be a way you could just pull it up on your own and then like have it at the side or something.
Right? Okay. Maybe we'll try that out.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way. So here, I'll read that again for you.
Please.
So it's, then from he came forth a voice saying, Great art thou, Thoth, among children of men. Free henceforth of the halls of Amenti, master of life among children of men. Taste not of death, except as thou willest. Drink thou of life to eternity's end. Henceforth forever is life, thine for the taking. Henceforth is death at the call of thy hand.
So it sounds to me like it's really like, it's like that part with, it says, oh man, I wish I could say this. Except as this wills it. What does that say? Except as thou will it. So it's like it's in our hands, right? Drink.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna give up. I'm trying to read that.
Is that better?
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Woo! Zoom, zoom. Yes. Henceforth is death at the call of thy hand. Well, there is no death. So if you say that there's going to be henceforth death, that's what it's going to be at the call of your hand, right?
Yeah.
Because forever is life. Energy continues.
Exactly.
Master of life among the children of men. Wow. Thank you for making that bigger. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, what I'm gathering from this is so it's basically like saying that, you know, we have free will choice.
Yeah.
And with that free will choice, due to the design of creation and what we decided to come into on a soul level, there's an understanding of how this operates. And within duality and polarity, you know, there's the illusions of life and death. And again, those are the illusions. Those are polarities. You can't have one without the other.
Right.
But the other thing is too is if we have one, then we also simultaneously and continuously have the other happening as well. So death is a situation that I could have a 2-hour podcast about.
I'm sure you
because especially the way that it's been programmed into our human psyches in such a polarized way, and it's putting people in fear and turmoil and limitation of their self. And you know, when we're able to basically, and this kind of goes back to like Yeshua teachings as well, you know, where Yeshua talks about making the inner like the outer and making, you know, male like female and like all this stuff in order to get into the kingdom of heaven. And basically all that's being said is literally that obtaining the perspective and the embodiment of wholeness and balance is going to be what frees us from the polarities and the continuous cycles of polarity and being the snake that eats its own tail, basically.
Right.
And when you realize that what we call death is simultaneously also a birth, you can't have one without the other, no matter what. So really, death is also technically birth.
Yep.
So then when you can see that, and then you just no longer separate them, and you no longer even try to define it, and you just see that everything is continuous motion of moments in different rhythms and cycles and flows, and it just continues even through physicality, because energy is more than physicality and it goes through physicality always, then we're able to really allow ourselves to be, you know, in that space of the masters, as they say, or free from time space. So it is something that we can embody now within our being.
Yeah.
And then anchor not being bound to time space while also being in this third dimension.
Yes.
That's how multidimensional and powerful we are with our mental mind power, as the all is mental. Wow. And it's really tricky too, because like, you know, we come into this world and we're just like so fascinated, and there's so much glitter and glamour and all these different things. So we kind of think like this has to be everything, you know, like this physicality, this material world, there cannot be anything more than this. And when we're perceiving in that type of way, then we are kind of bringing ourselves into a space of basically bounding ourselves or shackling ourselves to the material world. And then through those type of shackles and attachments, we then can fear the truth. You know, we can fear death. We can kind of be a little bit out of tune with the balance of who we are. And that is something that is of our own free will. And for me, that kind of is why I see, you know, it says, henceforth is death at the call of thy hand. You know, it's your own free will.
Yeah.
The soul, you know, you knew that you're coming into an incarnation where these kind of things happen in this plane. And then, you know, you come in here, and of course, part of the journey is having amnesia. But still, it doesn't mean the truth isn't the truth about our power and who we are. So, you know, although it may not be the most prettiest or the most willing thing that we want to experience is a super negative thing, well, there's a reason why we experience it. And some of the times that reason is to help us come back to remembrance of our balance, because we're out of balance. So if we're out of balance, we have an experience that karmically gives us the opportunity to return back to balance within ourselves. And of course, it's not going to always be that. It's a by moment thing out of free will of what that person will do with their experience. And that could be literally infinite things. That person can either stuff that reaction and then it turns into trauma, or they can just dwell in fear and just stay stuck in fear, or they can take the information that came to them, embody it and obtain it, and then transcend that state of being, and then become aware that life and death are all one. So yeah, it's all in your hands as part of the free will journey as being a human being, while also remembering that we are connected to the eternal source always. So even if we struggle with death, we still have divine time to go through the struggles that we need to in order to come to awareness of the true awareness of balance and truth. And that's the beauty and grace of continuous mercy and grace by the Creator, is that it's infinite. Like, even though we may struggle with something, or we may feel like we may never transcend it or graduate from it, there is always opportunity to do that. Even if you don't do it in this lifetime, there will be an opportunity to do it in another lifetime, and so on and so forth. But you can kind of bypass having to do this stuff in more lifetimes or in very harder ways by going ahead and taking the initiation of studying this type of knowledge, or trying to embody and obtain, you know, these type of key principles of energy and existence. And then you're just, as they say, being that self-master. You're kind of putting your hands on the steering wheel a lot more of your own life. And instead of allowing life to happen to you, you're kind of in harmony and happening with life at the same time, while also taking care of your own sovereign individuality with the rest of life. Wow. And I'm also hearing too, keep in mind for people out there that, you know, death is also it's like a frequency, you know, it's an embodiment that you can experience. So death is also not just something that is like, you know, you only die from your body and that's it. You know, we go through spiritual deaths, we go through emotional deaths, mental deaths, multiple times daily, most of us. And, you know, you can either see it as a death, or you can just see it as a continuous evolution of yourself. And it's different. The way that you choose to perceive is the way that you're going to communicate with the universe, as well as your being, on the way that you want to perceive and interact with your energies and experiences. Hoo-wee. Man, I tell you, this tablet too, this may take 10 episodes. Like, wow.
I think the next bit's going to tell us how we're multidimensional.
Yes. So we'll go ahead and do one more, and then we'll take a pause for this episode, because we are at about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And this has definitely been some really good substance for people to reflect and process with. So we have: dwell here or leave here when thou desireth. Free is a mentee to the Son of Man. Take thou up life in what form thou desireth. Child of the light that has grown among men, choose thou thy work, for all must labor, never be free from the pathway of light. Mm.
Oh my god. Like I just like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
Wow. Yeah, it's just wow. I'm just seeing myself in there and like
Mm-hmm. I get cold chills.
never be free from the pathway of light. But why would you want to be free from that? Like, why would you not want that? That's crazy. But this whole the child of light, the children of light, like my mountain. When I first connected with the children of light, I don't know if that's what this is, but it was like I've never been there, but I feel like I'm connected with that Mount Shasta thing, and I swear that's where what they were calling themselves is like the children of light. It was a very childlike energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it started about 3 years ago. That's how it started for me. About like, yeah.
Wow.
I'm. But I'm seeing myself like, because I know I'm a multidimensional. I can do that. Like it's not like, you know, beam me up, Scotty, and you're not going to see my body anymore. But like, you know, like it's all through. Oh, I'm tripping out. Because that's what it feels like. It's like you know. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Take thou up life in what form thou desireth. You know, when you think about like you like having like past lives or parallel lives or future lives or whatever, like it's there's so it's the layers, but it's not layered. It's like all one.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing like the Taurus field right now, and I'm seeing like so many different lives, and they're all like going around like this one energy form. I can't explain it, but I'm seeing it.
Wow.
Like a Taurus field kind of idea. And the idea is like, yeah, you're like, there's this like one central like source of light, but you're seeing like the different lives, but yet they're all connected to the same thing. And when you get connected to the source, you then can connect to all these different lives.
Yes.
So, therefore, you're not free from the pathway of light because it's constantly there if you're open to it. Wow. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God! Does it say the mountain of light in there? Is that what it says next in the next bit?
Yep.
Okay, I'm done.
Wow. So what I've been getting from this is, you know, it says, dwell here or leave here, when thou desireth. Free is a mentee to the Son of Man. So what I get from that is, as being, you know, as we call ourselves, man beings, we are able to travel the spectrum of light through these vehicles. And that is a unique gift of being a human being. You're not bound to being in one position in the law of one. Right. You're able to free will experience any multidimensional plane of a mentee, which is creation. So it's basically just saying, do as you wish. You can sit in your house, or you can go meditate and astral travel into a higher dimension, or you can go work a job, or you can, go do whatever you want to do. You can dwell about it. You can leave that space. You're not stuck anywhere. And I think that's also great to remind people too of, like, if you don't like something that you're in, or you don't like a relationship, or you don't like the job you're at, or anything like that, dwell here or leave here. It's up to you. It's your free will of if you stay or go, and know that there is more for you if you do go. And then it says, free is a mentee to the Son of Man. So it's basically saying, like, this whole playground of creation is free for you to explore at your own free will. There's no good or bad to it. It's just cause and effect, karmic energy, dharmic energy. And that's just it. And then, take thou up life in what form thou desireth. I mean, just leads off of what we just said. Choose what form of life you want to experience from your own desire. And then, child of the light that has grown among men. So it's just basically saying, like, you are, you're a child of the light. And the more that you become conscious and aware of these capabilities and powers that you have, you're just a child of light that is growing among people that identify themselves only as man. And then, choose thou thy work, for all should must labor. What I get from that is that choose your service. What kind of way of service to the all is going to be your divine labor or your divine service? That's going to help you continue to transcend and ascend in your journey. And then it says, never be free from the pathway of light. And what I get from that is, when we kind of steer off and just go into living based off our ego and quote unquote being free, so to say, we can find ourselves basically just playing in the shadows and getting caught up in the shadows of our ego, thinking that our ego knows what's best for ourselves. And then we can kind of take ourselves away from being in clarity of the pathway of light that we have for ourselves in order to continue to ascend into our journey. So, wow, that's what I kind of get from that. And then I also see from the never be free from the pathway of light, also maybe that it could just be a reminder that, we're always on the path of light. And
just went back to spark, the word spark in my head. So like there's always a little flame, there's always something.
Yeah.
There's always a little light.
So like, as much as we may think that, we're free from source or free from God, it's really inseparable, because we are the source experiencing its own self from its own self. So it's like, you're always going to be on the path of light. But if you take your focus away from that, and then you start, diving into and staying in shadows and polarity, then it may make it difficult and bring resistance to our pathway of light. Wow. I really love how it also even says, like, for all should must labor. Because that's something that's actually, like, always dwelled inside me. Like, I feel like we're supposed to work, but not in the way that it has been designed here. Like, working as in, like, providing service for the greater good for others. Whether it's being a practitioner, being a gardener, being a educator, being a space holder, all these different things, you know, they're labor when you think about it. We may not think of it as labor because we're used to thinking of labor as, you know, going to work and working a 9 to 5. But
getting the money.
Spiritually and energetically, we're still doing labor.
Mm-hmm.
We're still transmuting energy. We're still alchemizing, transcending through service, providing Reiki to others, guided meditations, providing these podcasts for people. You know, this is labor. We're doing our labor for this world. I'm also hearing too, like, find your passions and continue to spark those passions and use that as your labor, basically. And those passions can be a great pathway to keep you in clarity of the light. Wow. So is there any final things that you would like to share about this, or just the whole entire segment tonight?
I think I'm quiet right now. I'm just in awe.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, it feels like we're at a great stopping point.
Yeah.
Wow. I tell you, man, you really don't know what to get when it comes to these studies, and what a beautiful chord this was. Like, and what I find really fascinating too is when you can find that deep underlying resonance of truth naturally, to where multiple people at the same time just don't even have a question, like aren't even like confused about what we're explaining to each other, what we're translating, and what we're seeing. I feel like that right there is so magical, and it like really speaks volumes into the potency of the divinity of all this. Hooey.
Yeah. I have one final thing from the Emerald Tablets equals 463. It says, I'm in training mode, and I kind of feel like that.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Heck yeah.
It's learning, but yet it's like remembrance all at the same time.
Yeah.
And it starts resonating and stuff. I love it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Divine Sister, for joining us tonight on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
It was an honor. And if you feel called, you know, feel free to let the collective know, you know, maybe if they can reach out to you for any drawings or any art of yours. If there's any way that they can support what you do, feel free to let everybody know.
Okay. Well, you can come and check me out on Instagram. It's Lulabella280. And I don't actually have like full-on services that I do, but you can check out my work. And I do channeled light codes, the drawing kind, like the written light form. And yeah, just message me and can talk about what you like to do, because I also do speak the light language as well sometimes, and I also do tarot cards, or not the tarot, but a lot of different oracle cards, and I have all sorts of different connections. So I'm like, it's fun. So I'd love to share. Okay, yeah. I'm also over on Facebook too.
Yeah. So for everybody, here is her Instagram page. If you guys want to check out her Instagram, you guys can add her. Reach out anytime. I'll do a quick scroll through for you guys so you can see the content. and the wonderful
Very
channelings that she
colorful. Very
offers.
colorful. I work a lot with colors.
A lot of numbers, codes, colors. Very beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Thank you for your thank you for your labor.
And thank you for yours, sir.
Absolutely. It is quite the gift to be able to be out in this work field of planet Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Well, with that being said, thank you for being our SaCrEd guest tonight. And for everybody else out there, thank you for tapping in, joining us, commenting, sharing, receiving, just being a part of making this space what it is tonight. And for all of you that are watching in another time space on the replay, thank you as well for being you and who you are. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment, reach out. And if you have anything to add to our studies and our downloads that we shared, feel free to share your voice as well. You always have something to add, as we all have a perspective of uniqueness to share. So with that being said, everybody have a blessed and beautiful night, and I will see you guys soon. Wholeness and balanced love.
So I've got something for you. I'm going to read just a little bit from Act of Consciousness. It's the chapter that talks about walk like a master. Energy responds to the act of consciousness.
Grand day, everybody. And I just want to say, I'm so grateful. I am pouring with love. And I am just so beyond words of this incredible journey that we have been on in ascending beyond limitations. Continuing to breathe deeply, breathing in pure golden and white lights with your breath.
It's not the doctor's fault. If you're not healing, it's not your guru's fault. It's not your plant medicine